yes. My papa dog got a doggy got. Oh, papa doggy got. Oh, papa dog. Oh, papa is the best dog. Papa doggy. Oh, papa is the best dog got. Oh, papa doggy got. Oh, papa dog. It is dark in here, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't have the best lights, that I can say for sure. I live on Walmart table lamps. But anyway, I needed to make a video. Oh, I'm sewing something nice here, by the way. Very nice. Out of baby blankets, as I always do. And I have been sitting in the jacuzzi crying. First, I was sitting there laughing. Then I was thinking. And then my past came up in the jacuzzi with the moon above me. And then I got miserable, and then I started to cry. And then I realized I have to remind myself to breathe, 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 baby. You know. Yeah, by the way, this is an artwork I made. That's very nice, huh? I love it. It's my blue god in dog form. I have that on most of my t-shirts. So anyway, I was crying in the jacuzzi, feeling sorry for myself, even though I have a jacuzzi to go into. That's not good. And then I was even more miserable, thinking, what if I had, what I desire right now? I desire to have a house by Paul McLean overlooking the Pacific Ocean. So, and sitting there in a huge jacuzzi overlooking the ocean, having every jet on, and being nude, and being abundant, and free, and have some chef make me a vegan cake and some nice drink like a kombucha beer with ice cubes in it made out of dandelion tea. Like, this is very, very unusual because that's not what the regular person in Malibu offers at a party. But whatever. That is what I would offer at a party in Malibu, in a house overlooking the ocean, made by Irish architect Paul McLean. One of the best, definitely on the very top world top. The toppest one is Zaha Hadid, but she died, and it is very, very tragic. Very tragic. Very horrible. Died about a year or 2 years ago, something like that. I was shocked when I heard that because she was so on top and so strong always. So very sad. But anyway, I was sitting in the jacuzzi feeling sorry for myself and having breathing problems. It wasn't because of the water. The water was 100 degrees. It was just perfect. But I had trouble breathing, and I don't know what it is, if I have heart problems or liver problems, or if it is an emotional issue. I'm certain that that is always the case with my life. But I was thinking and thinking and thinking about also what my brother and I were talking about for the last couple of times. Very, we have very deep insights right now into things, which is amazing because you feel like when you have insights, you feel like you're finally moving forward. It's like you're like in a train and it is going forward. It's not stranded anywhere anymore. So it's going forward. And going into those feelings, the past stuff and all of this is all part of this moving forward motion. And it's just something you go through. And as Jiddu Krishnamurti said, you don't want to run away from it. You don't want to be stuck with your escape mechanisms, because you think you're getting away from it, you're running away from it, from the abyss that you think it is an abyss, but it is exactly reverse. The abyss is behind you. And that is what the ego wants to go back to, because the ego doesn't know anything else. The ego doesn't know anything other than Sharia law, Quran, Christianity, whatever, halal, kosher, horror, slaughter, farm life with terror, bloodshed. And people think this is what they need to do. They actually say to me that is what they think is necessary in life. There are Christians who told me they don't want peace. The guy at the post office, working at the post office. I got peace stamps in pink. He said, peace, peace, pink? No, not for me. It's like, that is not very professional, working at the post office, saying you don't want peace and you don't want pink. That is, that you should work in a weapons store, or, in you should work in a thrift store selling pawned guns or something, if that's what you think. I don't know. It's, government and worldview doesn't go very well together. So anyways, all these encounters always, people caught up with their imprints from the past, with their societies that they grew up in. And the ego always runs back to that. And particularly, they might venture out at some point, go somewhere else, might even check out a hippie community. But as soon as problems arise, they go right back to where they came from. And that's where the abyss is. The abyss is in Sharia law. That's the abyss. That's the actual abyss. That is, Christianity, Bible. That's the actual abyss, religion, or, any kind of terrible thinking, any kind of terrible social indoctrination is the abyss. That's not the truth. Okay. Whatever is not the truth is the abyss. It's the actual danger. As the Dr. Alan W. Anderson, Dr. David Bohm, and Dr. David Shainberg, what they were talking about with Jiddu Krishnamurti is that the people, they go only so far and then they run back to where they came from because they're afraid, because they don't trust the infinite. And that's what the infinite is, that actual freedom. The infinite is that actual goodness. Not the actual abyss, their idea of a God, of their God. It's an idea. It's not infinity. It's like it's completely reversed, actually. So they go all the way to the cliff, to the where they think is the abyss of truth. And then they look down that abyss into the truth, which is infinite. They fall into infinity. The fall into infinity is the thing that the ego fears the most, because that's also what Pema Chodron calls groundlessness. So have the guts to go into groundlessness and to feel the groundlessness underneath you. And that is basically what you do when you sit in the jacuzzi and your past comes up, you know. And instead of getting the champagne out or, you know, any of those tweaking modalities that people use to drown out, to go backwards to the actual abyss, to drown out the truth, that's when you become completely stuck. So, and that's what I don't do. I listen to Jiddu Krishnamurti. I say to myself, okay, he's right. I'm not gonna run away from it. I'm not gonna run away from it anymore by partying or doing an act. I'm certain I'm still doing certain act outs, but they are no more near the abyss, the actual backwards abyss. So they're much closer to the actual infinity abyss, the truth abyss, the love abyss. So going closer to the love, the light, and that is what the ego is most afraid of. That's why religion is afraid of art. That's why they are afraid of nature and animals and art. Animals are art. They're nature's art. They're the art of infinity, and infinity is art and is love, and animals are love. And that's why so many religious people, I see it all over. Also in Hindus, I see it. Saw it at Home Depot. We went there looking at faucets with Kenny a couple of years ago with our former dog, Kenny Great Dane, the star of this entire area here. He was famous. And there came this Hindu couple, and the way they looked at us, oh boy, they looked at us like there was this hardened energy, there was this, oh, there, I also detected that arrogant smirk that a lot of religious people have on their faces. Like it's sort of some kind of slimy, self-righteous, self-indulgent, self-aggrandized, self-praised, arrogant smirk, and this feeling, this state of mind of where they feel like they got it, you know, and everyone is just a pawn, but they have found the answer. It is the answer, whatever, you know, Lakshmi or whatever their Hindu gods are, you know. So, and even the ones that are legitimate, those are still for those people, it's just an idea. It's not infinity, you know, the blue god, for example, which is Vishnu. But the Hindus don't understand that as the actual infinity, you know. They understand that only as danger, as a threat to them, you know. They have to obey by that god, and when they do that, then it's just an idea. It's just, yeah, it's just a man-made thing, you know. It is not the actual infinity. Infinity doesn't punish anyone. That's the truth. I'm telling you the truth. The actual infinity does not punish anyone. It doesn't punish you for not doing your prayers or your OCD rituals or whatever. never punishes. That's something that needs to come into the public. This message. Infinity is there, and there is no argument against it because it's logic. Okay, it's mathematical logic, and it's the truth. Infinity is there, and it doesn't punish anyone. And there is, and it is an ever moving movement, and that's what it is. And it is good. It is wonderful. It's free flow. It's now moment. And if I could just get this message across to people, I don't know how to get it across. I don't know how. Jiddu Krishnamurti, at the time of his leaving his spacesuit behind, he said to people, I could not get my message across to the world. That's what it felt like to him. But it's not fully true, because he did reach some people. And there are generations to come who will also greatly benefit from his books and his conversations that are recorded. And what he says is the truth. Okay, and it's not religious. It is the truth. It's truth philosophy. Truth, it's love, philosophy of love. That's what it really is. So it's helping people. It has helped people, and I know a woman who has attended these talks that he has given in Ojai, California, and I know that it has helped her. I know for sure. So, and another guy I met on Facebook who had also attended those presentations and talks and conversations and seminars and stuff. So all of these people, it did not go in and out of them without leaving some seeds of love. So definitely, his message definitely got into the people, and we're all different, we have different trauma and everything, and we deal with all of this differently in some way, but it has helped all of us, because the message of love, the truth message, is what all of our bodies resonate with, because all plants resonate with it, all our skin cells resonate with it, our intestinal flora resonates with it, our brain cells resonate with it, and it does something. It moves us in the right direction, at least. So not as fast as I wanted to, but it does it. And so earlier in the jacuzzi, I suddenly realized, it became very clear to me. My brother had two mothers, and one of them was our nanny, and Maria, and she gave him love. She gave him kisses and cuddles, much more than I have received as a child. And this love for Maria has made it possible that he can move forward, that he can live. And it was none of the love we got was enough. It was not enough. It was not enough cuddling, not enough time that they had for us, not enough loving and kissing and cuddling. That is always clear to me. And that applies to the entire planet. That applies to all beings, basically. It really does. And particularly, it applies to all humans. Some people have received more kisses and cuddles, and they do much better than the others. Much, much better. You can clearly see this. Bindi and Robert Irwin are they're my my role model children, you know, for this example, to highlight this. So almost all humans had not received enough cuddles and kisses and love, you know, and even among animals, it is not completely enough. It varies, you know. Some animals have not received any, and some of them die because of this. I don't even want to get into this right now. It's just too horrible. It's traumatic for me to even talk about it. But there are some monkeys that where the babies cling to the mother, you know, so they're carried everywhere. There are some women that are becoming conscious who are giving this to their babies. They carry them around. If I had a baby, that's what I would be doing. You know, I would not leave that baby unattended for a second. The baby would go with me everywhere I go, really, everywhere. Even the jacuzzi, the toilet, everywhere. You know, I would have that baby hanging on me, either on the front or the back. So, and it is this touch, it is the security that is absolutely vital, vital for existence. That is the most basic thing. That's why I cried, because I realized, that's why I feel sorry for myself, because I haven't had that. And out of this lack of touch results such an enormous amount of anxiety and tension that's indescribable. It really is. This tension, you know, this restlessness, this feeling of, oh, I have missed out, or, oh, I need to do this, oh, I need to do that. And that applies to almost all humans. People act it out in different ways. You know, some people are daredevils because of this anxiety. You know, some people are cowards like myself, but also have anxiety. You know, being cowering in the corner, shivering. That's another form of anxiety, you know. So, yeah, it's all of this is coming out of this tension and anxiety and this feeling of being not grounded, you know, ungrounded. And that is a suffering that is, I can't put that into words, you know. And the more we become aware about this, the more it becomes clear to us, intellectually, consciously, also viscerally, you know, becomes aware, we become aware of this. The more we are clear and the more we know that this form of existence, without a mother giving the child what the child needs, that's not a way of living. It's not worth living. It's not a life that should be lived. Yeah. That is not what we should be here for. We should not exist with this type of suffering. It would be better to not exist. That's what David Benatar said. But I'm telling you, if we had this love and this cuddling and feeling totally safe, particularly in the first 3 years of your life, then nothing can go wrong afterwards. I mean, things can go wrong, but it's not going to be torture. It's not going to be feeling horrible. It's because you have the foundation of clear thinking, you have the foundation made then to deal with things, to survive things. Yeah. Even if, I'm not saying then there should be anyone could just handle any kind of trauma afterwards, but it is the first 3 years of life that are the absolute foundation for existence. And if that didn't go well, if the mother has missed out on giving you this constant touch and hugging and cuddling, non-sexual touch, very important. Sexual touch is trauma for a child. This must be emphasized. Absolutely emphasized until the person is 18, and even then it has to be consensual. So let children be children. Don't project your ideals on the children, like the JonBenét Ramsey case. This is like probably the most in your face psychological and physical cruelty there is. What that girl had gone through, that's unbelievable. It's unspeakable. That should be a reminder for the whole world that you cannot be projecting your ideals or your needs onto your children and make your children and mold your children into something that should, live on in your name or in your image or in your projections and wants and ideals or whatever, whether it's religious or something else. So don't do that. You have to be there for your children 100%, and you have to allow your children to be creative and to stay in that realm of infinity with all the fairies and all the things they see and perceive, the psychic abilities and all of this, without judging them, without shaming them, without correcting them. You don't correct anyone who is already in infinity. It is us neurotic adults who need healing, we need to correct ourselves, and we need to go back to love, to infinity and creativity and painting and artwork without thinking about being judged. Don't think about what someone else thinks of you anymore, of your artwork or your clothes or whatever. You do your haircut the way you want it to, not because that is expected of you, or that's how a man wants it, or whatever. You do it how it feels good to you, and not to your mother or father or whatever, or anyone, peer groups, teachers, whatever. Anyone you want to, who's in your vicinity. That's none of their business how you cut your hair or how you style yourself or how about your worldview. That's completely up to you, and you make your decisions in your lives, and not make decisions because someone else wants it. And don't serve anyone. Never, ever, ever serve anyone. If you want to give someone something, that has to come from you. You have to want to do it. You have to want to do it out of love, not because someone demands it or expects it or projects it or whatever. So, or asks you to do it, in whatever name. If it doesn't feel right to you, don't do it. Even if you're a party spoiler, you have to set up your boundaries very good. That's the first, that's the foundation of healing. And when you have children, you have to give them the foundation of love. For all of you out there who are expecting or planning to have a child, or planning to bring an animal into your life, or an adopted human, if you bring a living being into your life, and whatever age, you have to give that being that foundation of love for healing, for existing. If it's a traumatized adult, a dog, or you have to give that foundation of love. If you can't give that foundation of security and love and being there, being there with him, being there all the time, you can't leave a dog alone. Just like you can't leave a human baby alone. The same thing. Dogs are always babies their whole lives. If you can't give that, don't do it. Don't bring a being in your life. That's what they're making robot dogs now, for that kind of purpose. So that someone lives in a high-rise building. A lot of Asians, live in high-rise buildings. They're very hard-working people. They come home. They're not home all day long. They can't have an animal. It's cruel. So they come home and there's a robot coming to greet them. And that's the future. That's the future of love and existence. Live with a robot. A robot also is a companion being. You can talk to them, they play music for you, they interact with you, and so on, without needing. They can wait there for 10 hours, or 12 hours, or days, or weeks. They can wait there in a dormant state. They don't suffer. You can't do this to a living being. So if you bring a being into your life, you have to give the foundation of love. That is what I emphasize in my videos over and over and over again, because that is the most important thing for all of us, to receive this 100% love. Anneliese Udet Peste, my child therapist, she has been talking about this her whole life. And I 100% agree with her on that children have to, and Jiddu Krishnamurti always talked about this, that a child coming into school is already ruined, has already been traumatized. So, but that's why it's even more important for the teacher to really love the child and be there for the child, and not make the child his pawn or under person or whatever. So the volume went up on this, but anyway, that's what I needed to say. It's like it's this the security and the safety, and it's not given in the Middle East to anyone there. And that's why these people are out of control. I can't imagine the tension they must feel, much more than I do even. So I feel terribly sorry for all beings who are living with tension and anxiety and anger and all of these things, and this restlessness. So that's why it is so important that we go into ourselves, we do meditation, we nourish our brains with B vitamins, with good stuff. Even if you're an omnivore or carnivore, whatever you consider yourself to be, if you eat junk food, whatever, first, the most important thing is, please don't eat pigs. Not for religious reasons. Don't eat dogs, don't eat cats, don't eat mammals. That's the most important message I want to bring across. But particularly not dogs and pigs. Those are sacred animals, okay? They are kind, loving, sentient beings. Quit those, all of you. Quit eating those. If you want to love, adopt them and treat them like your children. They are like you. Eating those is like eating yourself. It's like eating a child. It's the same thing. They have needs, they want to love, they have humor, they have joy, they're intelligent, they are there to protect you, they love you, they will give their life to protect you. Don't betray them. Love them is my message to all of you. The truth is freeing all of us. Okay? You guys take care. Bye bye.